now. There. Double trouble. We are in both places at once. It feels strange. As always. But first, this side gets something that you don't. And you know that. But you get this. You get the scary faces I'm doing while no one... Hey! Don't worry, the microphone's still on. Greetings, my name is Brian. Welcome to KillCo Audio Music. KillCo Whiskey Musings. Whoa, I did the podcast recently. Audio Musings is for the podcast, which you can listen to if you're a patron on Patreon or a member of the YouTube channel. It's true. I've been doing it for... I don't know how long I've been doing the podcast. We're on season 6. That's how long. Ooh, and it is urgent that what we're doing for sure. I keep wanting to look at my phone, but it's over here. Whoa. Nice. Full moon is starting soon. We have, it will hit its peak tomorrow at 6:15. That's something we learned. Noise. Turn this off. I hope you all here enjoyed that new intro. I just set it up earlier today. It was a pain. I'm still not used to the editing software I'm using. It has a lot of features that I find unnecessary. I'm sure someone who has learned how to do editing would love it. I know how to cut and paste and change the sounds and add some pictures. Transitions, I know how to do those. Very exciting. Zanbujalo, how are you? That's for you. Thank you for bringing your time and attention here as always. It is greatly appreciated. It's gonna be one of those nights, I feel like, when I have, for one, Wednesday is usually gaming night, which has been well received. Me playing games on the internet, it's like it's been done. It's like, I know, but only I can play the games I'm playing and be absurd at the same time. Hopefully we'll get into that next week. I don't know. It's a really disturbing game where everyone's being eaten by rats. Alive, eaten alive by rats. Thank you for the hearts, I see that. I managed to eat dinner tonight. For those who don't know, I'm bad at that. I'm bad at taking care of myself and feeding myself properly. It's great. I worry, I guess we can talk about my disability fears. I worry that I'm not going to function at some point. Like cognitively, functionality. It's already, you know, what it is. It's not severe. But keeping on task and remembering to do things, ooh boy. There's that ingrained fear of, oh, I'll forget someday. I won't know how to do things. I won't be able to remember anything. And I'll be someone else's problem, which is not the way I like to look at things. Whose? I don't know. Rob Smith, hello. Welcome. This is for you. There you go. Thank you for bringing time and attention here. It's always greatly appreciated. We're looking over here. We've been in it 4 minutes. I'm doing the vertical today. Just to see. It's a very specific topic of conversation, and I don't know how YouTube short live stuff is going to feel about it. Am I going to have to start using lotion? My skin is feeling weird. Hello over here. Like and subscribe. Thank you. I think it's mostly the mustache that catches people's attention. If it isn't, that's a surprise. If they're like, look at his hat or look at his shirt. It's like, wow. How dare you? What are you guys drinking tonight? Doesn't matter what it is. I know I'm technically going on a dry week right now, which may or may not change because I have to do a video of a bottle that's up there. I keep forgetting. Did I mention that forgetting problem? Yeah, I think I did. The truth is, I don't know a heck of a lot about the day. I tried to look some of it up earlier, but it's basically just bringing attention to the fact that there are people with disabilities out there and they just want to be able to do what everyone can do without crazy problems, extra difficulty. I talk about how far we've come and how far we have to go. And how far we have to go. And I like to point out one of the big things is, and this is for accessibility, generally, just that. The sidewalks, where they have those little ramps, they didn't used to have those. So a wheelchair or any kind of rolling thing can get up and over on public sidewalks. That's one big thing. And the other one, of course, is parking spots for the handicapped. Thank you. Thank you, Milken. Thank you for popping in, saying hello. Water Wednesday leftover spaghetti and with veggies. Ew, veggies. I mean, that sounds delightful. I can have pasta soon. I have the protein pasta now because regular pasta isn't enough. Empty carbs? How dare you? Give me protein pasta. And then I have frozen meatballs and pasta, tomato sauce, red sauce, whatever you want to call it. Marinara. And then Parmesan cheese all over the top of it, because of course I do. Of course I do. Water Wednesday is a good idea. But as I said, I'm technically doing a dry week. I don't think I've drank anything recently. In fact, I can't remember. Like the last time I think I had a drink was on Thanksgiving? Maybe? Did I have one on Friday? I do it so little that it's kind of... We had a holiday, so I know I had a couple drinks. And I'm talking like 5 ounces, half an ounce. 1 ounce total, maybe. Oh, no, I did. I had at least 1.5 ounces, actually. Because I did the wild turkey video and had a little bit of whiskey on Thanksgiving. Is there something else? I feel like there might have been something else. I didn't have any drinks with Thanksgiving dinner. Or late lunch, really. It was more like a late lunch. Honestly, I don't remember. So I'm thinking it's Friday to Friday. The idea that I had in my own mind was I'm going to do a dry week from Friday or Saturday. Hello over here, like and subscribe. Every time I see more than just a few people over here, I'm watching. I have to say that because getting subscribers is good. The more people who watch, the more passive income I get. And once again, for those of you watching at home, thank you for putting up with the advertisement. You are throwing a few pennies in the jar. I found a penny today. I don't remember what I did with it. I think it's in the car. It's very exciting. I found a penny, but I passed up a penny a different day, which was in the parking lot here. I hope someone else picked it up. I was in a rush. Or was that this morning? God, I don't remember. Favorite album? You mean like musically? So if we're talking about music, it's vast. Visual audio sensory theater. And the name of the band is just vast. It's the first album they did. That's one of my favorites. And you just have to listen to it from start to beginning. That's the catch. No shuffling. None of that. Back in my day. We had CD-ROMs. At least it was that. At least it was a CD-ROM that I listened to at the time. Pretenders is a good one. That's something I think I miss, listening to just an album from start to finish. You can still do it, of course, but I'm so wanting to hear new stuff, but passively. So I'll just put Spotify on and either do the DJ, who disappoints me on a regular basis, or do the weekly one, where it's just whatever's popular right now or whatever's interesting right now. So I hear some different stuff. Do it every day. Nice. That's one way to go, man. I remember those days. You want to listen to something? Just do it. I can say Vast for certain because it was the one album I owned that at a point in time in my life where I was a teenager, I played it non-stop. Non-stop. So if you ever want to find out a little bit more about Teenage Brian, that's the one. Visual Audio Sensory Theater. Also, short title of the album is Vast. V-A-S-T. Yeah, right? I have listened to the Beatles one album numerous times, but that was because that's a popular one we had at work when I worked, which was a long time ago. I have not had a steady job, a regular job, since... I'm not sure. Hold on. Maybe 2011? 2010? That feels about right. Yeah. One of the little... Another huge achievement for the disabled, getting their having the rights thing, is being able to get on assistance, Social Security disability. That's what I had to do because I was a non-functioning human being. Still not, but I can certainly do a lot more than I could then. I lived in a very small, dark place in my mind way back then. And with years and years of trying to find the right medication and trying to get help along the way, here we are, sitting around a bunch of alcohol, streaming on YouTube. It's good stuff. No worries, man. It's just the way life is with me. That's one of the things that people really want to get across. It's like when you're living with a disability, you're just living with it. It's like your regular day, except with what they have to deal with. And deal with is probably the wrong word. It's just that. It's like part of your life. And it's just there. And you only really think about it or notice it when something else gets in the way of it. Like that blunt reminder of like, oh, the world isn't really designed towards what I can do. Cool. But like I said, the achievements of, at least with physical disabilities, the sidewalks, getting the ramp, and the parking spaces specifically. Those are two big ones that had to be fought for. One of the things to point out is all those little... what do I call them? I don't want to say conveniences, but that's not it. But that's not what it is. Amenities, we'll say. That are just little things, but tremendously helpful. Had to be fought for. Still do. Still do. It's like another one, which I have in my apartment building at least, and I don't know if it's everywhere, is if you're blind, like Braille on stuff, like my apartment, you know, the number's out front and it has underneath it the Braille, so people can figure out what number it is even if they can't see. What happened is I got a diagnosis. So there were very difficult times when I was younger, like obviously a little more emotionally unstable than a general teenager would be. And no reason why, and not understanding why I couldn't do stuff that people could do, and why it was so hard for me to get along with people, and why I wasn't able to understand things all the time. Yeah. Bipolar 2. Good stuff. So once I got a diagnosis, then there was the process of trying to get the medication, which is hard, because medication, the only way we know how to do it right now is to try it and see what happens. And there were certainly numerous medications I took that didn't work or did me harm. I think there was one called Wellbutrin that was messing with my liver, as if it needed more of a problem. Also drinking alcohol. Abusing alcohol. Misusing alcohol. There's the word. Misusing it. As medication. Self-medicating. A very common thing to do when you have problems like mine. Though not everyone gets their diagnosis, unfortunately. Shalom. Secret, huh? Alright. Thank you, Stare. I try to be as decent a human being as I'm able to. But I'm not always nice. I try to be. Like, I grew up with Mr. Rogers. That was a good thing. He certainly was keen on getting in touch with your emotions. Trying to understand them better. Not giving in to rage and sadness and just kind of working through it. Allowing yourself to feel it. That's the hard part. We live in a world where you're just... Your immediate impulse is to push it down. Like, ah, no. There you go, Pittsburgh, hell yeah. I think Mr. Rogers lived in Massachusetts at one point. I don't remember. I have a terrible memory. Very bad. Thank you everyone here for popping in. Like and subscribe, you know the drill. I'm trying to figure out what else I'm going to do today. I was lucky enough to play games with Greg. That's been nice. I have to admit, the digital world has helped me tremendously with working through my own problems and helping people understand, hopefully helping people understand that disability is very common and not always visible. That's the fun part. It does feel a little strange. Like you get that thing where you start talking openly about your disability, like mental, in my case, where it's like, you wouldn't know unless I told you. But then all of a sudden you're like the poster child for that disability. I don't know if I want handlebar mustache to be related to like having a serious mental illness. But since it's me and since I have it, that's all. That's all I can do. There's also the fact I'm a huge stereotype when it comes to handlebar mustache and whiskey. I'm aware. I'm aware. And as I say, usually with the streams, I started drinking whiskey and then this happened. So be careful. It could happen to you. It could happen to you. True story. On the plus side, since it did happen to me, I got to travel more and meet people I would have never met. I think the one good thing about the time we're in, if I want to pick something, is that the internet is a way to connect globally, which has not happened in this manner ever before. Someone from any part of the world could show up here. And I think that's one little way to making everything a better place to some degree. The internet is what it is right now because of the nastiness that we all are deep down inside the... What do I call it? Hibernation beard? Nice. Yeah, it's about time. I've done that before. I don't like it. It's just... I'm too accustomed to shaving my face the way I do. And I gotta admit, if I want to deal with facial hair, I'd rather just deal with this and that's it. It's already enough. It's already enough. But if any one of you do have questions for Bipolar 2, which I think most of you have been here long enough, like mostly talking over here if you've never heard of it, you don't know what it is, you don't understand disability in general, shoot, this is the time. Trying to think of things that I like to do that are helpful. Meditation. It seems silly, and it's one of those things that if I said this to myself 6 years ago, 7 years ago, whatever, whenever I started doing this, that I'd be meditating at 45 for 10 minutes in the morning. That's it. I wake up, I meditate, I move on. Gives me that nice little go-between. And yes, sometimes I feel like I'm going to fall back asleep when I do it, but that's okay. It is a nice way of calming the mind and just getting ready for existing in another day. Just, here we go. Let's go. I did get to play games with my friend Greg earlier today. We've been playing that Ark Raiders game and getting ourselves killed by other players, which is a thing. Someone got a very good gun earlier today, or at least a decent gun. Not necessarily good. And they got it by camping out at the extraction point, which is... it's one way to do it. I'll give it that. It is effective if done properly. But I've gotten into so few fights in that game with other players that I'm not accustomed to how to deal with it. Oh, and super chats, by the way. If you want to get me a whiskey and break the whole week off, now's the time. Or you can get me up to 9 and then not get to 10. Honestly, I kind of forgot I was doing a dry week. And with the amount of time I don't drink, it's one of those like, why am I... But I guess I'm saying that I had drinks for the holidays, and I'll have drinks for the holidays again. Coming up. Greg's weapon of choice was electric guitar. I'm trying to think. Was that the, was it Dead Reset or Raising Dead? Is that the parkour zombie game? I can't remember. I was looking back at my channel and I realized like this year in January, end of December and January, I was playing a lot of Fallout. A lot of Fallout 76. So I'm wondering how long this Ark Raiders thing will do. And I have been looking into the concept of streaming the game, but it's going to look bad. Because as I mentioned, on my laptop over here, the laptop itself works great for the game. Now, will it work great for streaming over Wi-Fi while playing a game? I don't know. It's one way to find out, though. So that's in the works. I got my tree ornament up. And if you were in here for this stream, you may have seen the new opening I got set up, which is just adding snowflakes and different music. It counts. And we have all our little paraphernalia up. We have that. We have that. We have the snowflakes, which just say dying light. Yes, that's it. Yes, yes. Those were good times. If I can figure it out, I may try to let us stream that. Like I said, it's hard to get used to that. It's hard to get used to that style of game where other players can be aggressive and can kill you and take everything you just worked for. But it's also, you get into the point where that's just another part of it. Like, rather than getting really upset about losing stuff, the point of the game is gather and then make new stuff and then go out and gather again. So it's a very simple loop. So when you go to gather, get some stuff, try to get out, or don't even get some stuff and get killed by some other player, they get your stuff. That's fine, because then you go back with nothing and use the materials and supplies you have to gear up again and go out and try again. That's it. It's not all that different from being killed by a machine. Like if one of the bots out there gets you killed and you lose all your stuff, that's the end result. You will either get killed by other players or the actual robots that are trying to get you. And you will lose your stuff all the time. So get used to that concept and you're fine with it. It still bothers me. I'm still thinking about it. Only because I lost a nice weapon. It was the first purple I got. But I did know that going out with it meant I could kill stuff better and also that I could lose it. And thankfully, as you progress in the game, you're able to make better and better items. So that's helpful. Music contents, look out. Thank you everyone who's over here. Like and subscribe. Do the thumbs though. The thumbs is mostly what I ask for, but if you want to subscribe, cool. That also helps. Oh, what I was trying to say is being on Social Security disability was a big thing because Social Security disability insurance is also very important for those of us who don't function well and can't really do a job. You know, at least being able to get some sort of a living out of it. That's good. I've tried to be very blunt with finances here, just so people know. Like, we all have financial problems, and we all deal with them in different ways, but I think the blanket everyone out for their own sake and, you know, figure it out mentality, that's a weird American thing. And I know for most people it's get a job. Actually, what I should say is it's the American ideal that used to exist. We're talking like after World War II, where you could have one job and you could make enough money to afford a house and a car. You could afford going to college, and going to college meant you could get a better job when you got out of college. That's not true anymore. That stopped being a thing, and we pretend like it isn't. So now people work their asses off and still are unable to do what their parents could do. Which sucks, right? So in my case, thanks to all the generosity here, I've been able to keep my head above water. And of course, also being on SSDI, because if I didn't have Social Security disability insurance, I would be living somewhere else. And I wouldn't like it. Guaranteed. I would not like it at all. And I'd be stuck with it. There's something about removing your... I guess I want to call it personal space. That's pretty bad as an adult. Like, if you can imagine being stuck in any situation where you have to be around people you don't want to be around. That's a nightmare fuel for me. I already have enough problems with that. Going down the hallway to get my mail, for example. Don't like doing it because I might see someone. I do it anyway, but I don't like it. Gotta remember to mute both of these. Or just be very quiet like that. Has anyone else encountered stuff like this? Any kind of... Whenever you've noticed a disability thing kind of being off. Mine right now is my own apartment complex because we don't have a disability door. So you know how most doors, there are a lot of them where you you push a button and the door will open for people who, you know, are in a wheelchair specifically. We have that, but it doesn't work. And it's one of those little nagging things in my mind that there are people who are disabled here who have to deal like getting through the doors, and there's two of them. There's two different doors you have to get through to get into the apartment. Mr. Greatshot, hello. Welcome. Thank you for popping in here. You've been having a good time last I checked. I think I saw you were with family somewhere, I think, because of the holiday. Welcome. This has also been what I have seen as another step, and it's something I've been using that I think only a few of you are aware of. I know Zenbu's aware of it, but doing a virtual avatar to stream, that's been pretty helpful. Like there is, my eyeballs. There's certainly, or at least I'm aware of, a certain discomfort people have about their appearance in whatever way that may be. And if they can use a virtual avatar to like feel like they're bringing out their personality without being concerned about their physical appearance or what people might think about them, like if they're hooked up to machines or whatever, that's been a good thing. There you go. That sounds like great fun. We went to a restaurant, Mr. Greatshot. It was great. It was great. I hope we go back there for the holiday, next Christmas. That'd be cool. This Christmas, I'm sorry. This upcoming holiday. Reminder, I try to be very neutral about this time of year. I may have a Christmas tree and this nonsense with the stockings, but that's because I have a YouTube channel, and that's the very common holiday in the country I live in, which is sort of enforced by the environment I live in. There are very few stores I can go to right now that don't have some kind of holiday theme going on. And it's leaning heavily towards Christmas. Speaking of Christmas, even though I don't like the religious connotations that go around the holiday, this is again a time for the close of the harvest and the beginning of real winter. So celebrating that fact itself, I get. Everything else is fluff. Apple TV, don't do it. Don't do it. Now, in the beginning of a new year, that's the other part. If we're going to have to agree for a time that the year is restarting, this is it. 365 days around the sun, and here we are. It's coming up. But what I will do is, even with everything I'm saying here, I do like some Christmas songs. Very few. And there's the strange realization that we haven't gotten new Christmas songs. They're all old. All of them are old. There's very few new Christmas songs. I'm trying to think of a few that come to mind. There's Jingle Bells, which is a terrible song. Nyla, hello. Welcome. Welcome. Thank you for popping in. Like and subscribe. Most of the holidays are just another day for me. Yeah, I get it. It's mostly what it is. You know what it is? It's that it disrupts things to some extent. Like, yeah, the solstice. That's one thing I do like. Winter solstice is coming up. We're going to have the darkest day of the year, and then that means the light is going to start coming back. That is what is real nice about the end of December, the holiday time, and the beginning of New Year. It's going to stop being as cold soon. That's what happens. I honestly, every time of year like this, it's a little sad because I think I've mentioned this enough times, but I don't know how much I mentioned it here. Is the sun gets lower and lower. So in the morning, during the warmer months, I have most of the morning, I have beautiful, wonderful sunlight cascading into my apartment, and it's great. But at this time of the year, where we're talking, let's see, when did it probably start? I can't say for sure it was September because I wasn't in my apartment for most of September. But I have a feeling around that time is when the sun started becoming less and less and less in the morning. Till now, it's about, I want to say it's light in here by the sun's direct light for maybe an hour. Whereas before it would be most of the morning. Into the afternoon, honestly. Into the midday and beyond. I also have to keep the window next to me closed because I can't have any direct sunlight on the bottles. Do not put direct sunlight on your whiskey. It doesn't like it. What else can I talk about with disability? Mr. Grayshaw, we got none. I have seen that Hugh Jackman thing. Or him doing that. That's going to be an interesting movie. There are a few movies I've been like curious about. One of them was the... I know the actor, and he's one I adore. But it's for him being a stand-in for certain people, and he's living in Japan as an actor. And he gets wrangled into this thing. And good things happen. Warm, fuzzy feelings, hopefully. But we didn't get any snow yet. We're on the coast of, well, we're on the coast. So a lot of times, if there is any snow, it gets fizzled out by the warmer temperatures by the ocean. So a lot of times we get just slush or really cold, wet rain. And then a lot of times it freezes over. So that's what'll happen instead. I know Midwest definitely got a lot of snow. I would check my phone right now, but you're here. You're right there. So I can look over here. I looked in the forecast recently. There's no predicted snow right now. Just nasty cold weather. It's going to get below freezing a couple times. I'm already getting into the habit of turning off my heat at night. I've officially set a reminder for it every day. So every day at 6:30, I'm going to turn the heat off. And whether I turn it on in the mornings, I'll leave it up to myself then. Usually it's off at night though. Because I'm going to sleep in my bed under the cozy covers, so I don't need to worry about that. Having it on is kind of redundant. Ugh. What else can we talk about with disability? Hold on. Because I can only talk from my perspective. And that, of course, has been the difficulties I went through in, one, getting a diagnosis, because that's the hard part. And I think more people should see psychologists. Like, even if you think you're fine, it wouldn't hurt to go talk to a psychologist, do a few little silly tests, and then they can let you know if anything's up. For most people, they probably won't find any issue. But there are plenty of people out there who I'm pretty sure should talk to a psychologist. John McCohen, there isn't. I have a laptop right here that was donated to the channel years ago, and it is currently what I'm able to use. I've used it for travel, so when I'm doing a live stream on the road, I've definitely used it. So as far as the laptop goes, I'm good, but there's a bunch of other stuff over there. If you should ever win the Powerball, let me know. Send me a few bucks. I still need to get, here's one thing, and it's expensive, but there's two things I need to get technically. One only seriously. But I am fine, yeah. That's the thing. You'll never know until you get the test. Fine is a relative thing. Like, most people think they're fine, but a lot of people are doing a lot of things that they're not aware of that might be something to think about, something to look into. Same thing with like OCD, or what else is another very common one? Anxiety itself is up there. Like, people are not always aware of how bad their anxiety is. I wasn't really aware of how bad my paranoia was until I got diagnosed, because I convinced myself I was just being careful. I was being sensible. How can that be wrong? And then I get to, you get to the point where it's like, well, so other people aren't worried about being near windows. They don't really care about having their back to a door. They're not expecting something terrible to happen at any moment when they're out. They don't have that feeling of always being seen. Like, you always have something, you feel like you're being watched, but nothing's there. Ugh. So those sort of feelings. You can, like I said, you can convince yourself you're just being careful. Oh, I was saying, the one thing on my wish list, two things that I would like, only one thing seriously. One thing seriously is I need to get myself an electric toothbrush. Mine finally broke after probably nearly 2 decades of owning it. So it worked, it was a good one. So that's on there, and it's like $100 for a goddamn freaking electric toothbrush. And the other one, which is like an aside, is that there appears to be water flossing now. So there's like a little thing you can get to floss your teeth without using actual floss, or rinse out between your teeth with a high-powered water. Could try that. Save myself a few bucks on goddamn flossing things. Yeah, there you go. Mr. Grayshot knows. Are you on medication? I assume you aren't. Because not everyone needs medication. Ow, my eyeballs. Hell, I got myself diagnosed. Part of the reason I went back for another diagnosis was because I thought I had ADHD, and I do not. I just have crippling depression. Believe it or not, it has similar symptoms. Can't stay focused. Difficulty in completing tasks. Concentration, it's there. The difficulty staying on task. That's what it is. It's really awful when I realize it's happening. So I go do this, I go do that, and then I'm like, wait, no, I need to do this. And then suddenly I realize I've tried to do something 3 different times, 3 different things, 3 different times, just like that. There you go. Yeah, it's weird. Some people don't need medication. Some people get the wrong kind of medication. That's what happened with me. Is like it took a literal decade, 10 years, for me to finally start to get medication that helped. In that whole time, I was getting different kinds of medications that weren't quite working very well. And I just stuck with it because it seemed to help a little bit. But only now has there even become a medication specifically designed for bipolar disorder. And I take it now, and it costs $2,000 a month. Thankfully, my insurance covers it. But boy, if it didn't, I'd have a problem. I wouldn't be able to take it. And that would make my symptoms worse, and I wouldn't be able to do as much as I could. I don't want to say completely certain, because this is something that was in my head for a while. But I don't know if I would have been able to do the cross-country trip if I didn't get this new medication. Because there was... I still know I did that, but oh boy. Would I do it again? I could do it again. That's the important part. And I am looking forward to camping. Oh, another thing. Disability gets you, or disability allows and helps with seeing the great outdoors. Weird as that sounds. But if you certify, if you verify, yeah, there we go. If you verify that you're on medication, not on medication, if you verify that you are disabled in one way or another, you get a little pass that you can use at national forests and stuff, national parks. And it gets you in for free. It's incredible. It feels so good. It's so nice that that's something that's allowed to me. Going to Crater Lake would have cost me money if it weren't for that. And I only realized I could do that when I was driving up to the entrance. I was like, oh no, there's a gate here. I have to pay for this. And then I remembered I'm going to a national place. Get the pass from the VA. There you go. That's another one. There are definitely other ways to do it. But it also gets me discounts on staying at national forest camps, which is why I stay at national forest camps, even though I don't really like them that much. The toilets are to be desired, but then again, what should I expect from being in the middle of the woods? They are all the same, though. That's the one thing I found. At least at the few I've been to, they're all very similar in design. So when you've gone to one, you've gone to them all. You know what they look like. You know what the toilets are like. You know what to expect. Even when I was staying with my friend in Oregon, that place looked very similar to the other places I've been. It was hardly any difference. I would probably drive across the country again to stay in Oregon if my friend was there again. And I'm assuming she will be at some point. It's like her job. She goes back and does it every year. Although there's rumors of her coming back to Rhode Island for a little bit to see her family. Not anytime soon, but just in general. So look forward to that. Or I will look forward to that. Brian, I also love pancakes. I do enjoy waffles, but pancakes sometimes, ooh. Oh man. Nice fluffy pancakes. All kinds of butter and real maple syrup. Maybe some strawberries on it. Good God, what have you done? Oh yeah, it's only natural. First of all, that is something you can do. You have to get a shovel first, and I believe they call it a cat hole. And if you've ever had a cat, you get what that's about. They like to bury their stuff. But no. You're kind of doing that, even with the toilets that are out there. And I say toilets very passively. You're basically dropping everything into a giant bucket that's in the ground. That is, or it's all removed and sucked out and sterilized. It's very unpleasant. Like, I don't like it at all. Mostly because they're not kept very well. My friend keeps a very nice restroom, but some of them I've gone to have had cobwebs and flies and just... like, they're not trying very hard to keep it clean, you know? Even with it being in the middle of the woods. I get it. But some people do what I call the bare minimum. They replace the toilet paper and make sure the toilets aren't filthy. Which is that's good, but also the rest of the place, yeah, that'd be also good. That would also be very good. But I've only had that happen at one of them? The other kind of camping that I've seen that I would rather not experience again is RV camping. Which is... I don't get that. I know my friend, she lives in her RV, that's the way she lives. I can understand her going from place to place and staying out there. After some lime, ooh. I don't even remember, John McKellen, I don't even remember what the specs are on this laptop, but I know it's strictly for gaming. So it's pretty good. And this was from at least 2 years ago, so it's still very modern. What's going to be scary, and what you could help with if you win the lottery, is the fact that I have to get a new desktop someday. Not yet, but the day is coming. That is one of those funny questions I get here. Are you an alcoholic? It's like, clearly not. Because if an alcoholic wouldn't be able to keep this many bottles around them, they would have drank them all very fast. Sugar Kitty, meow. Also, hold on, we missed a few. Dominic, this one's for you. That's the wrong one. That one's for you. And Sugar Kitty, that one's for you. Thank you for bringing your time and attention here. As always, greatly appreciated. Yeah, that is one of those interesting comments I get. Are you an alcoholic? Look at all the bottles I have. They wouldn't be here. An alcoholic would have a real problem. I definitely had a drinking problem once upon a time. I will fully admit to that. But now, no. No, my liver is too scary. My liver is telling me, stop it. Which is why I'm technically doing a dry week. And I mean technically because I just decided on it, and now I'm just continuing on like I normally do. Although once again, there is the thought process for... yeah, well, if I... yeah, okay, maybe, we'll see. I think I said from Saturday to Saturday. And I don't remember why. Was I drinking on Friday? Excuse me. Hello, everyone. Like and subscribe. Do it. Do it. I don't think I did. I really don't remember. It's so infrequent that I do. But the idea is going to be from Friday to Friday was a dry week, I think. And with that, yeah, because then I can do either Friday afternoon, since the idea was noon, like noon of the day till noon of the next Friday. After that, I can record the video and edit the video and get it up for the 7th, because if you do like the videos I do, I am trying to get one video out a month on the 7th of the month. And it'll go live at 7 a.m. I'm at a port since Saturday, damn. He says. Thank you all for going over here. Just a peek, just to put on the background. Again, it is something that it gets more eyeballs. That's what it does. Task in stereo now, Jesus. Sugar Crazy, you're a legend. I don't know how you do it. Oh, I have been, One thing that's been nice is that Daniel on the Whiskey Vault channel has been doing a advent calendar. And no, I don't feel jealous at all. Maybe I'll be able to do that again someday, but not anytime soon. Not until my liver has gotten in much better shape. There is, of course, the point where I can look at it and go, all right, if you're going to do that sort of thing, drink some of it. Don't drink all of it, because 24 ounces of whiskey in a month is a lot. That's the way I like to think about it. If you think of it in whiskey ounces, and if you think of like 1 ounce per Advent day, you are drinking 24 ounces of whiskey. Not all at once, but over that month, you're definitely drinking 24 ounces of whiskey. And whiskey itself is a very different beverage, as many of you know. It is not like having a 24 ounce can of beer or cider, or hard cider, I should say. Or having that number of glasses of wine, you know, it'll mess you up. But it's not the high alcohol content that whiskey is. God, don't know. Don't be a squid. Be a bumblebee. Ugh. They can see all kinds of stuff. 9 minutes left, everyone. Thank you all for like just tuning in and hanging out. That's always nice for me. There were times when I was doing this early on where I guess I always thought it wasn't going to be anybody. And that is something I have leaned into over the years, is the possibility that no one's watching, but I'm still going to be myself. So if anyone does want to pop in and enjoy whatever the hell I'm talking about or doing, that's good enough for me. And more important when it's a day like this, where we are talking about a topic that most people are a little uncomfortable about. I still feel odd, like lumping myself in as people with disabilities, because it feels like this day is geared towards more physical disabilities. Like if you're in a wheelchair, or if you're blind, or can't hear, that sort of thing. But then I realized that there are other disabilities out there that are very common that are just accepted. And I think we want more acceptance and more regularness of that sort of thing. Like people can say they have a mental illness and that's just like, oh, you know, me too. Or, oh, my cousin has a problem like that. A little more accessible, because one of the things we have as a disability that isn't really thought about anymore is this. I have a disability with my eyes, so I have to wear these. But we don't think of it that way. It's just getting glasses. That's it. Everything's gone blurry. Like, it would be very hard for me to do things with my eyes the way they are right now, because all I see is fuzzy stuff on screens. I can see myself pretty well here, but it's all blurry. Same with in front of me. And again, this is after taking my glasses right off, which your eyesight's screwed when you do that, because it was nice and focused a second ago, and then you took these off. And yeah, people can't see the internal wiring. Huge eye, yeah. But we're getting there. We are getting there. Like there are enough people talking about mental illness. I just made a new word. Talking about anxiety, depression. They can joke about their own condition, whatever it may be. And it's more accepted. Like, it's easier for people to accept that now than it was before, because getting a diagnosis, getting medication, making it more common as just a topic, as a thing, having it be normalized is what everyone's looking for. Because we're all pretty normal in our own way. It's just how we live our own lives. Mine is very different from most people's, but it's also very similar to a lot of people who have bipolar disorder. Some people could say it's a strength, and I'd be like, I don't know. I'd like to have days where I don't feel crippling depression and anxiety, and then days where I feel really good, but then question why, and is it a good thing that I'm feeling this way? Having to manage it all the time. Ugh. I'm trying to think of difficulties. More accessibility is what we're all going for. And more, I want to say brevity, but I'm not quite sure what that word means. More understanding about all of it. Understanding about those who can't see or can't hear. Or, I think one of the big ones is the elderly. Like people getting up there in age and who become disabled by that. Because it's hard to do everything. It is more a socially acceptable thing, but it's also kind of quietly not looked at very much. Elderly end up in homes and stuff rather than getting the support they need in their own, like having their own space. Like I said earlier, I feel like taking away your privacy and self-reliance is extremely difficult for people to deal with. I couldn't do it. Like I would have a really hard time being in a forced living situation where other people were there and I had to interact with them all the time every day. Nope, don't want that. Don't want that. There you go, Sugar Kitty. Yeah, she's 90, yeah. She doesn't. It's not as easy for her to get around, is it? Everyone over here, hi, thank you for popping in. Like and subscribe. Stick around, you'll learn more about whiskey, I promise. Today is a different kind of day, though. And a reminder that December is Seasonal Affective Disorder Awareness Month. If you're feeling kind of yuck right now, what is happening with my throat? If you're feeling kind of yuck right now, there's a reason. It's a normal reaction. It's okay, you'll get through this. Ask for help when you need it. And most importantly, take care of yourself. That's all we're all trying. That's all we are ever trying to do. Social dancing night? Yeah, that's what I mean. We're all gonna clap our hands and play a game. Like, ugh. I'm only okay with socializing when I'm the one discussing. Like, I'm the one going into it on my own accord, under my own conditions. So if I have to walk away from it at any point, I will. That is something I've gotten very accustomed to doing. I don't think, and it never really bothers people. Like, I feel like it might when I just kind of turn and walk away. But most people just don't think much of it, which is great. Oh man. Bingo when you're older. No, no, no. I will live in the woods by myself and I will die there. If I can't do it, well, I'm dropping dead, I guess. I like my own peace too much. But there's the thought that I would be okay with someone coming to help me out, and I know that's something I can get. Another reason I should talk about Social Security disability and the health insurance we have right now that I'm on. For people with disabilities, it has covered the cost of my medication. It's huge, and I can get assistance if I needed it. So if I needed help around my apartment with cleaning, which I kind of do, but I'm still not convinced to ask for it because they usually mean the inability to physically do it yourself, which, like I said, kind of ties into being elderly. You can't lift things, can't do things. I may look into it again, but I always feel guilty. Like, I can do stuff around my apartment. I just don't have the ability to task it and do it. I get sucked into too many other things, or I'm just too distracted. It's a little difficult. I'm glad to hear your mother's doing well, Sugar Kitty. That's a good thing. And again, with like Papa KillCo's birthday just happening, and he's 79 now. Oof. Again, he's the mark for me. You know? However old he can be and he can get, well, I hope I can get there too. Like I said, the male Calavi lineage has not been great, but other circumstances were usually involved. It wasn't like they were old and dropped dead, or they got to 65 and just died. It was they got to 65 and medically something happened. One was cancer caused by smoking too many cigarettes, and the other was actually a heart problem and surgery that didn't go well because they were not taking care of themselves, as I understand it, and they were given some poor advice because they were given poor advice due to the times and the lack of knowing how to deal with certain things. The very good things. There you go. Thank you all for joining me. I'll be back here on Friday. Stay tuned for the possibility of gaming streams if I feel like getting that rat game out and trying to do a little more of that. Or the possibility of seeing me playing Arc Raiders on here or Twitch. We don't know which one yet. If I can figure out how to get my computer to do that, my laptop to do that properly. As always, live long and prosper. Don't forget to be awesome. And I will see you out there. Woo! Special thanks to my YouTube members and patrons for supporting the channel. Thank you for watching. Remember to like and subscribe. I'll see you next time.